is somebody whose equipment is worth more than their car.
A board head is just somebody that's totally into it.
A board head? That's when you when you're in the water and somebody else hits you in the head with the board.
Board head is this guy in this truck over here. He's got 5 boards and still not enough because he's not sailing.
Once upon a time, about a weekend or so ago, a few of us decided that it might be kind of fun to go over to Molokai. So we got the trip together. We had Alan Cadiz, one of the best pro sailors ever in the history of the sport, to follow us over, be around in his boat, and kind of show us where to land in Molokai. None of us had ever made the trip before, and it looked to be really fun. From the North team, we had Michael Bizinas, Drew Ferrier, Jan Borsma, and then Wendy Aguirre filled in the troop. We had a really good time. We left out of Kahana on Maui's west side for the trip. Winds were easterly, pretty gusty, a little hard to get off of the beach, but once out in the middle, the wind was powered. We had gusty, puffy winds that were pretty strong, good stuff for jumping. It was a rocking trip. The water out there is deep purple blue. You've got almost 1,200 feet of water in the deepest part of the channel, and it's just a neat thing. You're out in the absolute middle of nowhere in the Pailolo Channel. Pretty much you break down there, unless you're, lucky and got a lot of friends, you're on your way to Alaska, which probably wouldn't be a good place to be in just a shorty. Once we got over there, the surf had picked up from the easterly winds in Molokai, and we played back and forth in the channel, over to the surf swell, back in and out. Pretty rocking time. And then, we kind of had the fun part of the day. Put the hook down in Alan's boat, had a nice little spread. Mike had gotten a whole bunch of chocolate chip cookies. We had a couple of Frosties. Life was pretty jamming at that point. After a little bit of a rest on the boat, we decided to sail back, and man, the wind was filling in, pumping for 5.5s and 5.8s. Drew and Jan took off and basically blanketed the rest of us. I mean, they were a speck on the horizon. Anytime you want to make the trip, you should do it. It's really fun. It's only 8 miles straight across the line on a rum line, but if you go back and forth and sail with your friends, it's really a fun way to go. Anytime you make it to Hawaii, check out with Alan, go on that trip. It's worth it.
Wind dummy's the first guy you send out. check the action. He's usually the guy that takes out 2 sizes too big or too small a sail, and everyone else comes in and goes, or when he comes in, they go, oh, thanks a lot for showing us the way there.
Wind dummy, oh, that's the guy that we all wait for him to go out and test the waters.
Wind dummy is generally the first person to go sailing, especially when the conditions are questionable. He would be the wind dummy, or her, for instance.
A wind dummy is the butt head that you send out before you so you can figure out what sail to rig. There's one on every beach.
Well, it all starts from my love of windsurfing. And there's few things that I enjoy more than just going out for a nice sail. Once we have our design ideas, that is to say what sort of improvements we feel are necessary to improve on our existing product, we build prototype sails here in Maui, also in the Gorge. Our wave sail designer spends a bit of time in Australia, in the Australian summer, working on wave sails there as well. And I spend a lot of time at the computer. I spend a fair bit of time at our computer plotter, cutting out pieces, sewing them together. And obviously, once you get to that stage, it's time to take the sail out and destroy it. Well, this is the first of our 1996 production Prismas. They arrived just a few days ago. We're using them in our photo shoot at the moment and testing them to verify that they're just what we had in mind. They seem to be. They're faster than any Prismas we've had in the past. Seems like we make constant progress and have to freeze it at one point in the year, which is right now. So this is going to be in the hands of all the experts shortly and in everybody else's hands over the next few months. This sail is different than last year's in many, many small ways that are not immediately apparent. The shaping is different. The physical flying shape of the sail is different. Our goals, as always, are to get a faster sail across a wider wind range. We believe we've succeeded in that. And we also like a sail that's easy to trim correctly, has a wide trim range so it can be used outside its nominal fast range. That is to say, it can be set up quite deep for lighter winds and set up extremely flat for high wind strengths and be easy to use across that whole range. Changes that we've made from the 95 model, probably the most obvious one is our new batten tensioners. We've done away with the buckle and webbing, which represented a fair bit of windage and inconvenience to the user and looked sort of agricultural. Our new trim device is a self-contained unit which uses a small hex key to tension the battens. With our trimming method now, the sails can be adjusted in batten tension once or possibly twice after it's gotten wet, and then it's perfectly okay to lose the key. Here, where we rig and de-rig a lot of sails, we tend to use an electric screwdriver. I think the techno-dweebs will like to have one of those in their quiver. And testing has proven that it's a pretty bomb-proof, reliable item. My general design philosophy is to have a sail that's easy to use. What we've discovered is that sails that are easy to trim across a wide wind range tend to be fast. And we think that the consumer likes that also.
Tech Weenie spends more time thinking about their equipment and tweaking their equipment than they do actually using their equipment.
No, I can't do a tech weenie. I don't know what a tech weenie is. Somebody that reads all the magazines.
And 1 hour.
That's a move.
A tech weenie is someone who gets on the internet all night and talks about windsurfing, and by day he's out there dweebing with his equipment and floundering around in the waves.
Tech weenie is into, like, he has pen protectors in his pockets and stuff, and he also pretends that he knows a lot about windsurf here.
Tech weenie, it's those guys with all the new equipment and sails and stuff. You know the type of it.
More money than sense.
Shred Betty is a major babe who gets out there on windy days.
A Shred Betty. It's a really hot chick on a windsurf board.
Shred Betty? I don't know. It's when you fall and you fall down and the boom hits you in the head and stuff.
Bitch and babes on boards.
Me.
Ooh, babe. We got one right here. Maybe it was ours, the Shred Betty.
Shred Betty. Shred Betty, that's me, or Seabiscuit.
Early October.
Anyone can do it. You know, there's no physical limitations except enthusiasm. There's no age limit. There's no, you know, it's not a guy sport. Girls can do it easily. It's not a muscle sport. It's a finesse sport.
It's not as much of a masculine sport as you would think. Some women are put off by it because they think they're not strong enough, when actually, you know, in the beginning it might be a little hard. It is for anyone, man, woman, child, whatever. But after you get beyond that stage, you allow the equipment to do a lot of the work.
When the sport first started, there was no instruction. I mean, it's just a couple of guys out experimenting with a rig that they dreamed up that they didn't even know if it would work. And I think that right from the conception of the sport, they struggled from the beginning. I think after a while they worked out a method, and instruction grew tremendously in the States and in Europe. They had a number of certification courses that would teach beginners, entry level, to windsurf.
Fun is the most important thing of my kids' camp. Parents have a high expectation sometimes. Well, so-and-so's doing that. Why isn't my kid doing that? Well, we're working on the kid having fun. If that kid wants to go out and paddle on his board more than anything, we try to get them to go sailing, but if they want to have fun just paddling, at least they're out there, they're enjoying the wind. We let them have fun doing what they're doing. We start them at 6 years old, and we have them all the way up to 16 in our kids' camp, where they have a lot of fun. We have lots of equipment, and they get diplomas at the end of the week. We have a little ceremony where they sit there, and the parents are allowed to come. They get report cards, diplomas, and it's a really fun thing. They can jibe those little boards so fast. And they'll go back home and they say, Daddy, Daddy, I jibed today. And Dad's sitting there going, no way, I can't even jibe.
Well, my thoughts on training and instruction are, I think the best thing to do is get help, you know, from a friend, such as a girlfriend or a husband or a friend with gear. That's a good start, but really the best way to go is with a professional, with someone who can get you out on the proper equipment in the proper conditions and with proper instruction. It's really the only way to learn quickly. You know, if you start with a friend, you know, they mean well, but they don't necessarily have the experience in teaching, or worse, they might not have the right equipment. It's so important to have the right stuff. Even for me, I've been in the sport now 15 years, and when I haven't windsurfed for a few days, and I step on the board and I slog off the beach, and I get the board up to speed and it starts planing. That initial thrill when the board jumps up on top of the water and really starts to skate and surf. Yeah, watching the board hop up and go. And at that point your sail, it's like a throttle. You sheet in and then the board just shoots forward, and the thrill, even after 15 years, it's still thrilling to get up and plane. You know, you don't have to do wave sailing or jumping to enjoy the thrill of windsurfing. Just making the board go with a little speed is exciting. And with a lot of speed, it's really exciting.
You know where you are, man? En la Isla del Encanto, Puerto Rico, man. This island is amazing for windsurfing. in the morning you wake up, boom, clean your eyes, take a coffee, and jump on the board. There's another one, there's another one. Wanica, man. Beautiful place. We have 2 seasons. We have summer, that is slalom season, and then we have winter now, like it's for wave sailing. Come to Puerto Rico, man. You love it.
Oh, that's when it really dies, and you just have to slug back in.
Slug it. If you rig too small sail, if a sail is too small, then you slug it.
Slogging is plowing, digging, grinding, submarining, generally wet and painful.
Slogging is when there's not enough wind and you're just kind of ankle deep, pushing through the water, not really getting the most out of the sport.
It's the art of non-planing.
A wind widow, that's a woman that doesn't windsurf, but her boyfriend or husband does.
Wind widow would be somebody that lost their significant others to the wind gods, male or female. Wind widow? That's when you're doing a jibe and you flip around and you hit your head in the ground.
Wind widow? That's a girlfriend of a windsurfer, or wife of a windsurfer.
Not me, not married. I have had wind widowers though.
My husband.
Wind Widow is a sad woman.
Fantástico, eso, la viuda, una viuda de viento, que no sé lo que me está diciendo con esa. Es demasiado extraña la pregunta, la paso.
A wind widow, it's sad but true. There are the wives who lose their husbands to the sport of windsurfing. Sad but true.
Okay. The 96 Olympics are going to be held, obviously, in Atlanta, in the United States again. And it's the Centennial Olympics. And it's the second time in the last 8 years that we've had the Olympics in the United States, which I think we're pretty lucky to have it again. The sailing's going to be held in Savannah, which is a coastal area, and it's the word Savannah is kind of explains what the place we're sailing at looks like. It's a lot of low-lying islands with a lot of grassy reed areas, a lot of alligators and fish and sharks back there growing up till they get big enough to go chew on people. And so it's a real pretty, pristine area, and the place where we're sailing out of is actually a little barrier island out on the coast with a big bay, kind of a semicircular dent in the coast that we sail out of, and that's called Warsaw Sound, and that's the location we're sailing out of. So we're kind of trying to spend a lot of time training there and getting dialed into the local conditions.
The month of July, I'll be spending in Savannah. We're going to have a training camp there, just basically checking out the winds and the current and trying to figure out the course, and just spend a little time there just studying it a little bit. Since it is in home country, figured might as well, I think it'd be good to know exactly what's going on there.
To qualify for the Olympics for windsurfing, since '92, women have their separate class also. So we've got one male and one female going to represent the United States. And the way it works, you have to win your Olympic trials, which is pretty much about 2 months before the Olympics. And that's basically a regatta before the Olympics. Win that, then you qualify for the games. So we're only taking one person from each country.
It's just such a great opportunity that not a lot of people have, or not a lot of people are able to do. And I think if you're at that level where you can actually compete in the Olympics at that high of a level, it's just so worth going for. And whether I make it or not, it's just the experience all the way up to the Olympics is worth it. It's a great experience.
You know, I kind of sat down with my dad, and my dad sat there and said, look, he says, you win an Olympic medal, that's something that you take with you the rest of your life, and it takes you and carries you into different circles of respect, and it's something that people can comprehend. I mean, it's something that people relate to from any country, from any part of the world. And he says, look, you can win a World Cup event, and, you know, maybe you make $10,000 for winning that event, blah, 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 but it's something that 20 years later people aren't going to remember.
To be able to be in the Olympics would not only be a huge dream come true, but I think it'd be a great opportunity to get to represent the U.S., and I think it's just kind of puts the icing on the cake.
Hula is what I do when it's blowing less than 20 knots. Generally, you're up to your knees, working the sail, you got the hip action going, and it's a hula thing.
Many people do the hula. It's a real talent.
My boyfriend does a hula because he's about to fall and he like
sort of like
around
so.
And...
Hula? Don't know hula. That's a different sport.
A hula, that's a new one. A hula.
Hula? It must be something about windsurfing, because hula is a dance in Hawaii, right?
The hula, that's when the wind dies and you gotta do a little hula action to get back in.
Hula! I love doing the hula. I actually hate doing the hula, but I like the movement.
Doing the hula hoop. Going like this. There we go. Yeah.
Hula. That's the hula.
Okay, wait a minute. Let me go wide. Give me a hula.
Hi, my name is Brad Duffy. We're here in San Francisco to talk to you about North Sails, their new product lineup and technology for 1996. The trend for 1996 is to create gear with a wider range of tunability than ever before. This allows the sailor to tune his gear for wave sailing, bump and jump conditions, even slalom conditions out of the same board and sail. One benefit for the sailor is that this allows him or her to pack around less gear than they did, say, 3 or 4 years ago. 3 or 4 years ago, gear was so specialized that you needed to have a slalom board for every 5 knots of wind, a wave board for every size wave, a quiver of fins that was huge, a quiver of mass to accommodate every single specific sail in your quiver. The trend now is for gear to become easier to use, easier to tune, and also to have it work in a wider range of conditions. 1996's lineup includes the Prisma, our full-on World Cup racing sail, the Spectro, a high-performance slalom sail, the Katana, which is our light air monster, the Infinity, which is our single-cam bump and jump sail, the new Convertigo, the Vertigo, and the Zeta. 2 concepts that penetrate the entire line from the racing sails down to the hardcore wave sails are the flowing shape and the 3D integrator cut. The flowing shape concept came about when Larry Herbig and Kai Hopp were trying to solve the problem of a sail that had a lot of low-end power, enough to get you out of the hole and get you moving either in waves or in slalom conditions, and a sail that was very controllable and fast when overpowered. It has utilized some negative seam shaping through the body of the sail. This negative shaping area stops the spread of the deep positive shaping from the head and the foot area from spreading into the body of the sail. It helps it remain thin and flat and extremely efficient in overpowered conditions. This also allows us to put a little bit more shape down low into the sail for that added punch out of the hole. The second concept that is found throughout the sail range, from wave sail to race sail, is the new 3D integrator cut. This is a combination of vertical and horizontal shaping seams. There are 3 horizontal shaping seams, one located under the head batten, one located on the batten right above the boom, and one right below the boom. Then there are 3 vertical shaping seams above the boom on the Prisma, Spectro, Katana, and Infinity. The 5 seams that generate from the tack out towards the boom area in the foot of the sail do a couple things. One is they help lock the shape nice and smoothly into the bottom area of the sail, which is the deepest and most radical shaping area. Secondly, they help gradate the materials from the foot up into the body of the sail. For instance, it allows us to put a very thick monofilm around the perimeter of the sail and gradually turn that into a thinner, lighter weight material as you get into the body. 3DL is our flagship kind of icon sail that is a molded one-piece product. If you watch the America's Cup at all, follow that, every boat in the top 6 utilize 3DL. It is simply the fastest sail you can put on a sailboat. We're starting to use some of that technology in windsurfing. We're taking the design concepts and applying them to standard stitched panel type sails like the Prisma, the Spectro, the Katana, and the Infinity. We are also experimenting and producing a molded one-piece sail called the 3DL Accelerator. In the slalom line for 96, the Prisma comes equipped with 4 cambers, the Spectro comes with 3, The Katana comes with 2 in every size, and the Infinity comes with 1. The Infinity is also equipped with a duo cam, so you can remove the camber and go with an RAF style sail. In 1996, the Prisma is coming equipped with 4 Pro cams, 3 carbon H-beam battens, a slightly shorter boom length, and a slightly taller luff length. The 1996 Prisma, as compared to the 95 or the years past, has a little bit more depth in the shape down in the boom area, a little flatter midsection, and a springier head. Our Prisma racing sails are available in sizes from 4.5 to 7.8. There are 2 additional Prismas, and those are the 7.5 and 8.5 raceboard class, or in Europe, the Formula 42 class sails. And those are extremely lightweight, 5 batten, 5 cam, course board racing sails. The Prisma is a no-compromise racing sail. If you're having trouble with your water starts or something like that, it's really not the sail for you. It's for someone who wants the top-end performance in a race-type sail. This summer at the U.S. National Speed Sailing Championships in the Gorge, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd were all on 96 Prismas. They had a great year, and they hadn't even been released yet. Upwind, downwind, on the reaches, on the speed course, there's nothing faster. The sail that's probably changed the most in 1996 would be the Spectro. It's still a 6-batten sail, it's still a slalom sail, but now it comes with 3 cambers. The luff sleeve has been widened a little bit from 95 through the middle of the sail, but still remains real tight up near the head. Still a snap to water start, but this thing has got unreal top-end speed. If you want to go out and drag race your buddy and you want to humble him or make him feel bad, jump on a Spectro and it'll be no problem. The 1996 Katana has undergone quite a few changes. One of the most noticeable is the addition of another camber on all sizes. The Katana still packs a serious low-end punch with all the benefits of modern technology. You get the feel of a modern race slalom sail with the low end of an old-school sail. If you're the kind of person that likes to step on your board, sheet in, and just get yanked onto a plane, the Katana is probably just right for you. The Infinity is the original convertible sail. This sail is built to take any punishment you or the elements can dish out. The upper half of the Infinity is constructed out of triax cloth. What that is a layer of monofilm, a layer of a 3-piece woven material. It's an open weave, but there are 3 strands. They intersect in triangles, and then another layer of film. What this does is it provides the low stretch qualities and watershed qualities of monofilm with the durability of a cloth. You can remove the camber, run it RAF. You can run it with the cam, bagged out for a lot of deep power. It is truly the all-around sail. It's the perfect match for the slalom-oriented convertible board of today. So that's the slalom line. You have the Prisma, the Spectro, the Katana, and the Infinity. If you just gotta have it all, and you sail everything from rivers to reef breaks, check out the 1996 Convertigo with Duocam. This light and powerful sail rips everything from wave faces to speed zones and is a perfect mate to the new style convertible boards. It's a single cam wave sail. The luff sock is medium-sized right around the boom area and very tight and small like a wave sail the rest of its length. The camber can be removed and the sail can be run RAF fashion, or you can pull that batten out and run it with a half batten option if you really want to go hardcore wave sailing. Sails plenty fast, it has a lot of power, it's built with durable materials, and it has huge range. Comes in sizes from 4.2 to 6.2. The Convertigo, like the Vertigo, the Zeta, and the Infinity, all have the X-frame cloth in the foot area. X-frame is a combination of North Sail's sandwich cloth, which we've used in our wave sails for years, and the new Triax material designed by Larry Herbig. When rigging your Convertigo, just remember these couple of pointers. If you're running it with the camber reducer in, you're going to run about 1 notch to a half of a notch less outhaul than what's recommended on the mast sleeve. If you're running it without the camber, RAF style, pull it out to the maximum recommended tension on the boom setting. The Convertigo allows you to have fun on any type board. It excels on a convertible board. People who sail the bay during the week after work or go down to the coast on the weekends can get away with 1 quiver of sails and cover it all. The Vertigo has been in our line for a few years. It is a very popular wave sail. Extremely lightweight, very snappy, good low-end power. The Vertigo has always had a little bit more low-end juice than the Zeta, but because of its monofilm construction, it's very stable at the top end. Vertigo construction includes X-frame cloth through the foot, monofilm construction on the top, and triax behind the luff sock. In 1996, the Vertigo comes with a dual batten option. You can run a full batten all the way to the luff sock, RAF style, or a 3/4 batten that stops about a foot behind the luff sock for a real soft, luffable feel. If you want to make the most out of any wave sailing conditions, check out the light and powerful Vertigo. One session on the Vertigo and you'll know why the Maui wave sailing team calls it the contest wave sail. The industry standard for durability and wave sailing performance would have to be the Zeta. For years, it's been made out of cloth, it's been made to be durable, it's been made to withstand rinsings over the reef at Ho'okipa. This year's Zeta has a few changes in its design. Down low, around the boom and the foot area, there's definitely some more depth and some more power. The head is a little bit twistier, a little bit more open, feels lighter aloft than last year's Zeta, but actually has a little bit more power to punch you out through the surf. Same construction as always, triax cloth above, square down the luff, X-frame in the foot, a vinyl window, very, very durable. If your passion is full-on, down-the-line wave sailing, or if you want a gutsy, smooth, easy-to-handle, high-wind free-riding sail, the Zeta is the obvious choice. This is the new batten tensioner from North Sails. It's called a rocket tensioner. This is the lightest, most aerodynamic batten tensioner on the market today. To operate the rocket tensioner, you insert your rocket tensioner hex key into the slot in the back of the tensioner. You want to turn clockwise to loosen the batten and counterclockwise to tighten the batten. If you ever have a problem with your batten, or you want to change it, or you need to remove the batten from the sail, you can easily remove the rocket tensioner device from the sail by turning clockwise until you get the tensioner completely loose. Take it all the way down. When it's completely loose, just push in. After you've pulled the webbings back off of the rocket tensioner arms, then all you have to do is remove the tensioner. And then you can get to the batten, camber, whatever else you need to do. To reinstall the rocket tensioner into the sail, simply slide the tensioner over the batten, push it all the way in, pull the webbing straps over the tensioner arms, insert the key, turn counterclockwise until you reach desired batten tension, and you're ready to go. All 1996 North Sails come equipped with a diamond leech. This diamond-shaped reinforcement pattern that we run up the trailing edge of our sails allows us to reduce the overall amount of reinforcement on the trailing edge and increase the amount of reinforcement in the middle between the batten pockets. This not only reduces weight, but it also reduces flutter when overpowered or in extreme situations. The North ProCam uses E-slide webbing to reduce wear on the mast and friction in rotation. The spacer arms keep the ProCam partway open at all times. This makes for easy installation onto the mast. In 1996, North Sails introduces two new Spacetech XC products, the XC40 with 40% carbon and the XC20 with 20% carbon. Both masts are warranted for 2 years, even in the surf. With cross-carbon winding technology, these masts are bomber. The 1996 slalom sails rig a bit differently than the 95s and 94s. Just slide the mast through the sleeve with the cambers below the mast. After you get the mast into the luff sock, you want to install your downhaul with little or no tension. In other words, just basically no downhaul whatsoever, just the rope or the hook attached to the tack grommet. A new product we have for 1996 is a progression boom head. This head is retrofittable onto all 95 and older North boom products. A couple of nice things about this boom head is it has a even radius aluminum front end with no bends in it. It's got a rope adjustment system which allows for infinite adjustment of the boom head to fit any diameter mast on the market, and it's extremely convenient to use. Just take the mast, pop it up into position, grab the lever or the hinge, pull it up, slide the rope into the hook, clamp it down. The next step in rigging your 96 slalom sail is to go ahead and outhaul it all the way out to the maximum recommended setting printed on your left sock. Now that you have maximum outhaul on your sail and little or no downhaul, it's time to install the pro cams onto the mast. It's a very simple move to do this. All you do is put a little pressure on the batten pocket just behind the left sock, push down. This pulls the camber back away from the mast. Then with your other hand, reach under the mast and just snap the camber onto the mast. After you've finished downhauling your sail to suit the day's conditions, close the zippers and hit the water. 1996 is the year of versatility. With more tunable, easier handling sails, lighter and more durable masts, windsurfing is now more fun and easier than ever. Well, that pretty much wraps it up. You've just seen the meat of the 1996 North Sails lineup. I hope you found this video informative, and I hope it helps you make a decision on your 1996 windsurfing gear. Have a good season. I'd like to talk to you all about rocket tensioners and diamond leeches. All 1996 North Sails come equipped with the new rocket tensioner. It's a batten tensioning device that we have developed over the last 2 years. It's incredibly light, it's aerodynamic, and it's easy to use. The cool thing about the rocket Tell him what it is.
It's a rocket.
Dude, it's a rocket.
Put some nylons on.
It's a rocket. Well, as you heard from our man on the street, it looks like a rocket, and it tensions your batten instantly. You could say it has rocket speed in batten tension. Let's say, for instance, that your foot batten is a little bit loose and you want to crank it down. You don't have to pull and push and tweak and do any kind of weird stuff, slap a camber thing down, whatever. This is what you do. Turn counterclockwise until fully tight. It's that easy. And then leave it alone, and you may never have to adjust it again. All 1996 North Sails come equipped with diamond leeches. Diamond leeches is this pattern you see here, in the shape of a diamond between every batten pocket. What we found out is that around the batten pocket area, we need very little reinforcement in order to keep the leech stiff. But in between the battens, we have to have a stiffening device. Hi. Hi. Do you know what a diamond leech is, ma'am? No? Okay. Would you like to know? Do you know what this stuff is right here? It's called triax.
Okay.
Yeah. And
is it bigger, like
it's the most
durable
it's
than plastic?
it's the most durable surf sailing material ever made.
Yeah, it's got these little square, these wires in them.
Yeah, it sure does.
Wire or is it?
It's actually nylon and a little bit of carbon fiber. Yeah. Yeah. This just came out this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's brand new.
Oh, I like it.
Yeah.
So what the heck is an H-beam batten anyway?
Well, an H-beam batten is a solid epoxy batten product that has been routed out down the side to save weight. But yet it is solid epoxy, so it's incredibly durable. You could get rolled in any size wave
My
with this
girlfriend
batten.
tries to do that to me sometimes too, and it really hurts.
It's very painful. Oh!
How much for that sail? How much for that sail?
Let's hold it up a little bit, man, guys. I'm sorry, man. I'm all backed up. Good, right?
Yeah. How's it going?
Sick, bro.
Okay.
You leaving your sail outside? You gonna bring that on in with you?
We'll leave it outside.
All right, man.
Okay.
Take it easy.
Thank you very much.
Man,